And if you're wondering at any time what's coming up next, you can always head to big4news.com.au. You can look at that on your phone. That is a website that will be updated constantly throughout the next couple of days. Now, I've attended my fair share of conferences as both an MC and a keynote speaker, and the one thing that I've noticed is that they can be a bit of a talk fest with little or no action resulting. Not this one. This is all about action. Stepping up is not only the conference theme, I would say it's a call to action. In fact, I'd go as far as saying it's a call to arms. And that's where the Stepping Up Challenge kicks in. All speakers have been asked to submit a key takeout from their time on stage. One big idea that they want you to go and action. And that will be incorporated into an online resource for all of you to access when you return home. And at the end of each day, I'll share what their Stepping Up Challenge is so that we all do remember it. But I'm going to help you take that step one step further. When I'm at conferences and hear a great idea, I jot it down on a sheet of paper. One idea, one sheet of paper. Then when I get back to work, I blue tack those ideas all over my wall and then set myself the challenge of actioning one idea at a time. Is everything. Action creates reaction, and I will be covering that as part of my keynote this afternoon on marketing your parks. So I do encourage you to really just look for those little ideas or big ideas that you can take back and action. Now, as you would appreciate, an event this size cannot happen without the generosity of sponsors. Have a guess how many sponsors there are for this national conference? 25? 30? Do I hear 31? I got a block. 44. Hey? I reckon that. And can I? Yeah! You know, Kari's going to touch on the power of this brand that you are all a part of. And boy oh boy, I mean, brands are such an important part of marketing and business. And I think 44 reflects the strength and the magnetism that the Big 4 brand has. So well done. Big costumes, big hair, flares. Love the 70s. Child of the 80s though, really. Love the 80s. Yeah, love the 80s. We'll talk about the 80s. Anyone who wants to talk about the 80s, see me afterwards. Now, yeah, lots of social events, and stick with me and you'll know what is on when and where. I'll update you as we go into the breaks and let you know what needs to be done or where we'll be going next. Now, finally, who loves a bit of housekeeping? I know what you're thinking. I've only been restocking the minibar Timbo, but I do have to cover some housekeeping. You know, my dad used to say, housekeeping won't kill you, son, but why risk it? Mum never saw the humour in that. Which brings me to the 4 rules of good housekeeping. You know when it's time to clean the fridge when something closes the door from the inside? I like your laugh. I'm getting it right there. It's good. It's encouraging me. Never fry chicken in the nude. That was Dad's. Make the beds, do the dishes, then 6 months later, start all over again. And the 4th rule of good housekeeping, if you want to hang more clothes, get bigger doorknobs. Okay, on a serious note, there are some things we need to know being part of the big exhibition centre that this is. If you or someone near you injures themselves, please contact the CI events staff or a venue staff member and follow their directions. In case of fire, don't follow me, I'll be panicking. Please follow the directions of venue wardens or the PA announcements. In regards to smoking, yes, it is a non-smoking venue. Head outside, away from the entrance, you can have a puff. Just don't tell Michelle, or let her see you. And if or when nature calls, the toilets are located just out and to the right here. Mention my name and you'll get a good seat. Okay, housekeeping tick. Now, enough from me. All right, it's time for our first speaker. A quick Google search reveals he could be an Irish real estate agent or a London-based strategy director who tweets about colouring in. However, I know him as your head honcho, the big cheese, the grand poobah. You know him as the chairman of Big 4. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Ron Cregan. In losing those 30 kilograms, everything changed in my life, really. In fact, my business, in the 12 months losing that weight, my business's turnover doubled. So I'm sure many of you would like to get a little bit healthier as well. Better night's sleep, a few dress sizes down or pant sizes down for the fellas, whatever it may be. You know, I told this story at a recent Westpac function recently, and I had a woman approach me afterwards, and she said, I lost a massive 90 kilograms of useless fat recently, and she looked absolutely fantastic. I said, what did you do? She said, I got divorced. Now, you'd love that one. You're my best. I hope you get a bottle of Moe later. I know, yeah, you do. You've got to get good dog noise though to get that. All right. Now I'm so excited to introduce our next guest. In fact, so were the guys at head office. So excited. Check out their reaction. Hang on, we've got to flip it. Here we go.
We're ready.
Any photo bombers? Love it. So that's a selfie. That was photo bombing, and love it. Yeah. Is a dingo a dog? It is. Yeah. Yeah. Where is Windmill? Love it. You have won. Inquiry to your business. Not only inquiry, it'll be warm inquiry. People will say, love that video you produced. Then they'll acknowledge the video up front before they even have a discussion with you, for example. Happens in my business all the time. I've been creating helpful marketing for about 5 years. I left corporate 7 years ago. 2 years in as a marketing wanker, as Barry the Glazier reminded me. 2 years in, I thought, what's going to differentiate me from all the other marketers around the place? So I started a podcast. It's an online radio show, and I reckon this is gold. I reckon there's not enough podcasters in Australia. It's popular, but it's only going to get more and more popular. Podcasting, it's just an audio file that you create and upload to your website. Nothing fancy. Caravan park and what you can do in and around it. That's a podcast. You might get together with someone else in the local area and talk about your local area. That's a podcast. It can take any form. You don't have to have a journalism degree or anything. Talk about punch so far above our marketing weight these days, and that's proof right there. Now, I want to talk to you about Darren. Darren's pretty much a fellow like you. Darren Finkelstein. He owns St Kilda Boat Sales down at St Kilda Marina in Victoria on Port Phillip Bay. And he is with successful small business owners. They hold each other accountable. You just need to put your name on one of those tables at the registration desk at the break, and then everyone's meeting at 7:15 in the foyer at the Sofitel.
You're embarrassed enough.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, man. What an afternoon. Thank you, mate.
You're very welcome.
You don't.